Hello guys, welcome. My name is Ritesh. Today we are going to see a demo of automating governance at scale on Microsoft Azure using Azure Policy and Terraform. So let's start. First, I would like you guys to go to my repo, that is github.com/cloudwithritesh, and under repository I have created a public template called TF Easy Policy Demo. Alright, now let's move on to my personal account. Now I have moved on to my personal account repository. I have already cloned or created a repository using the public template. If you see, generated from Cloud with Ritesh TF Easy Policy. And how you guys can do it is, if you go to my channel Cloud with Ritesh TF Easy Policy Demo, you click on use this template, create new repository, and from template you can create your own repository that will copy all the file to the new repository. I have already done this step, so I'll move on to the next step. There is a prerequisite, so let's go quickly to the prerequisite. You will need an Azure subscription, you will need CLI, you will need Terraform, GitHub, version control, and proper Azure permissions to create service principal, assign role, create storage account, and define and assign policies. This we are going to do. Alright, this is the project structure, and if you see, set up Azure storage for Terraform state. I have already done this beforehand, and this is the step which you will need to do before diving into this lab. So I have already created the storage account. If you check my subscription storage account container, I have already created a TF state, and there is a TF state file. Now this TF state file, at first when you create the storage account, will not be available for you, so do not worry, it will get created. Now this is here because I have already done this lab for testing and just before creating this video, so the TF state file is here. But for you, if it is not there, don't worry. If you see providers.tf file, in providers.tf file here, once you give the key and when you run Terraform init, the Terraform init will create this file. Okay, so don't worry, that will be created. Blob container is also created. Now we'll start from service principal. The first thing, we create service principal and save the output. I'll copy. I have already copied all the commands, and there are a few things that you need to fill, like subscription ID. The subscription ID, you have to enter your own subscription ID, and the name, you can keep the name as Terraform Policy Demo, or you can give any name that you want. Role contributor. So first thing first, let's go ahead and create this service principal. Alright, it's creating a contributor role assignment under scope subscription. It's created. I will copy this and I will replace it with this. Now this is a sensitive information, so make sure you do not put this on your version control or anywhere that is publicly available. In this video you see this information, that's okay, because I'm going to delete all this credential once this lab is done. Alright, now here concentrate on app ID. Okay, now service principal is created. I'll go to my Microsoft Enter ID, app registration, all application, and if you see, Terraform Policy Demo is created. Alright, so this is the app and managed application in local directory. If you go in this is the service principal. Alright, now second command, what we are going to do is add storage blob data contributor role and assign necessary permission at the project. All right, here I'm going to assignee object ID. Now this assignee object ID you will get, you go to your app registration, Terraform policy demo, go to the managed application, copy the object ID from here and replace it with this. Rest all will be same. Okay, for me, because I've already made the changes, you change the value at the placeholder that I have mentioned in my Git repo. I'll create the role assignment. Then I have already created, I've already added the info. I will just change the assignee object ID here, and I'm going to copy this command. Now what this command is going to do is going to give a permission called resource policy contributor to the service principal at subscription level. All right, let's run this. Now once this is done, all right, I would like to show you what I have done. Subscription, I'll go to my MVP subscription, access control IAM, role assignment, and quickly if we see here, the service account, the service principal that I have created as contributor role, the first command that I ran, and resource policy contributor, the second command I ran. Now if I go to the storage account, tf state demo, access control IAM, role assignment, and if I see it has resource policy contributor inherited from the subscription. All right, and it has storage blob container access as well. Okay, so we are set with the permission. Now let's move on to the next step, set environment variable. Now I already have the environment variable. I'm going to change this information. All right, client ID is the app ID from here, the newly created app ID. I'll replace it. Okay, client secret is the password. The tenant ID and subscription ID will be same because this does not change. I will copy it. Now for this, if you are doing on Windows, the environment variable you will set up using $, but if it is a bash or Linux, you use export. Okay, clear? All these instructions are given very well into the readme.md file. If you see, if using bash here, I have already given the instruction, so just follow the instruction. All right, okay, now to check if all the values have been set at the environment, I'm going to do is check. Okay, now these values are there. This is done. Now we'll configure the Terraform backend. All right, now the Terraform backend is referred in providers. In providers, Azure RM, the resource group, storage account name, container, and key. You can keep the key anything. I have kept, but one thing, the extension should be tf state. All right, you can have any name, but the suffix should be tf state. All right, so already here var subscription ID, I have a subscription ID updated in my terraform.auto.tf vars. Variables, I have set the location and subscription ID in the variable. AZ policy what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment it out up till line 26. Okay, line 26. So it is going to create a resource group, then it is going to create a policy definition, and then it is going to assign this policy definition on this resource group. So what will happen is, if any resources created in that resource group, if it does not have a tag called environment, it will deny as a policy violation. We will see that in a testing phase. All right, now all these things are set. One last time I will confirm if everything is set. Easy policy. All right, up till 26. This from 28 and below is for the next part of my video, wherein I will be showing how to do it using GitHub Actions and OIDC. All right, providers are set. Subscription ID, output. I will uncomment the output. Terraform TF bar subscription ID is added, and variables. Now what I will do is, the very first thing you need to do is Terraform init. All right, first time you will do, you have to do Terraform init. That will initialize the backend. Done, the backend is initialized. Terraform -format recursive, that means the formatting is correct, so we don't need to worry about it. Now third command is Terraform validate. All right, what it does is it validates your configuration. If there is anything wrong with your configuration, it will let you know and you can make those changes. But this validate only does validation of your configuration file. It does not check if the resource you are creating is correct or wrong, or does that resource exist. Okay, now we are going to run Terraform plan. Now Terraform plan, what it's going to do is, it is going to run, it will first check the Terraform TF state file. It will validate the current resources against the one which it's going to create, and it will give me an output as to how many resources it is going to create, and how many resources it is going to change, and how many resources it is going to delete. Here if you see, it is going to add 3, 0 to change, 0 to destroy, and those 3 things that it will create is a resource group, then policy definition, and policy assignment. All right, now we will run again Terraform apply. Okay, enter. You can give the switch -auto -approve, and it will not prompt you to select yes while applying. Now if you see, it's again showing me the same plan, but this time if I say yes, it is going to perform that action. So let's say yes. Now you will see it will take some time to create. It created the resource group. Let's quickly check. Home, resource group, RG policy demo. The resource group is created. Now if we go to policy, we will not see it immediately. It will take some time to create the policy. As of now, if you see, we have 4 inbuilt policy. Okay, now this is, we are creating a custom policy. While this is running, let me go to the az policy.tf. Now what's happening here at az policy tf is, if you see the file path, so if you go to this policy required tag policy JSON file, I have set the condition here. The condition set, what does condition say is, if in the field of the tag, if environment does not exist, then deny. Okay, and here it is going to assign this policy definition to the resource group. Okay, if you see require environment tag assignment, this policy has been created. Here it is showing still in creating. Here we can see it is created, but it is not actually created. It is still in process. All right, go to definition, custom. See, custom require environment tag. This custom policy, custom definition is created. Assignment. If you see apply completed, assignment, if you go here, definition type policy, okay, scope is the resource group, RG policy demo, okay. Now everything seems good. Let's do a quick testing. Again, I'll go to my readme.md file, all the way down, and here testing the policy. What I'm gonna do is I will copy, I will clear this, I'll add. Now there seems to be some kind of issue, so I'm going to run it as one command. And if you are facing the same issue, don't worry, you run it as a same command, one command. Name, I'm going to change the name to something unique, Terraform Paul demo 280499, okay. Resource group. Now here if you notice, I have not given the environment tag, okay. So let's see what happens. If you see, it is policy violation, so it won't allow me to create any resource in that resource group unless I have not set the environment. Now let's do the same again, --, tags, and it will be environment is equal to, it doesn't matter, it is dev, prd, uat or whatever, the value doesn't matter. Here we have set a policy on the key, and the key is environment. So I'll give dev, enter. It's running, that means it is creating. If I go to my Azure portal, resource group, RG policy demo, I'll wait for this to finish. It is still running. Now by doing this, what I have achieved is, now in an organization, if a resource does not have a tag, let's say cost center, it becomes really difficult to tag the cost of that resource to the business unit. So in that scenario, having Azure policy stating that the tag for cost center should always be there, which should be created either at the resource group level or at the subscription level. That will help you to identify this resource belongs to which cost center, and you can bill accordingly to that business team. All right, now this is created. Let's refresh. See, my storage account is created. All right, and this is the demo for local deployment. I hope this video was informative, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will be back with the second part of this video where we will be talking about GitHub OIDC setup using GitHub Action. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.